Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda. Today I'm going to be reviewing Silver Springs Campground in Silver Springs, Florida. Our first impressions of this campground is that it's very, very quiet. We did come in early February, so it could have just been the time of year, but it's a very, very quiet campground. This campground is also pretty small. There's only 2 loops that make up the 59 campsites, and then there's also a few cabin sites across the street as well. The bathrooms are very, very clean and the showers are very clean, and there is laundry at both bathhouses. So each loop has its own bathhouse. There's only one set of laundry at each. I was surprised to find out that a few of the sites here have full hookups. That is pretty uncommon, I feel like, for Florida state parks. We actually stayed at 2 sites. We stayed at Site 19 and then at Site 53. Site 53 is much more private. It's abutting the woods, so there is a lot more privacy than there was at Site 19. The whole backside of Fort King Loop is abutting woods and is the most private. The reason we had to book 2 separate sites is because booking Silver Springs Campground is very competitive. It is very hard to get a site. Non-Florida residents, the sites come live 11 months before you can book, and they book out very quickly. I will link a video above of where I reviewed Henderson State Park Campground, where I give some booking tips on how you can get into these very competitive Florida State Park campgrounds. There are 2 entrances to Silver Springs State Park. The first entrance is where the main entrance is, where all the glass bottom boat tours start, where you can kayak, lots of restaurants and trails up there. Then there's another entrance that is a little bit more secluded, which is where campers go through. It's also where some pavilions are and where a museum is. We did visit the museum and it was very fascinating. There are some artifacts from Native Americans that used to live in this area. There's also a lot of fossils and skeletons that they have found in this area. There's a mammoth. There's a whole story about the history of the springs, how it used to be an amusement park. And when you visit the other side of the state park, you could totally tell for the infrastructure that it definitely used to be an amusement park of some kind. And that's why there are monkeys here, because apparently there used to be a zoo, and when the park closed, I guess they just released the monkeys. So there are monkeys, and we did see one. There is a 2-mile trail that connects the campground side of the state park to the main entrance side of the state park. And it was a very beautiful trail. All the trails here are so beautiful. None of them are paved on the campground side, but with our mountain bikes, we had no problem riding around all of these trails and exploring. Sometimes it's packed dirt, sometimes it's limestone. We did run into a few spots that were sandy, but we could just walk our bikes through and had no problems. On the main side, you can rent kayaks, and we did go kayaking down Silver River and saw beautiful wildlife. There's snakes, turtles, we saw manatees, we saw alligators, monkeys, just an amazing experience. Highly, highly recommend going kayaking. The cons to staying here, I would say, is that there's no Wi-Fi. That was pretty surprising. Usually there's Wi-Fi at the bathhouses at least, but there's no Wi-Fi here at all. The cell signal is very good though. There's also no fishing or swimming at all on Silver River, which was a little surprising, but they want to keep it as pristine as possible, so there is no swimming or fishing. I also think that there was a con at first that there was no paved bike trails here on the campground side, but it ended up being totally fine. Pros to staying at Silver Springs Campground is that it is beautiful. The wildlife, I mean, pristine, it's so preserved. The land with lots of trails. This is what Florida State Parks call the real Florida. Another pro is the proximity to the springs. This is the largest natural spring in Florida. The water is crystal clear. It is so beautiful. And the last pro is, I would say, it is very well maintained, very quiet, and very clean. I hope this was helpful in helping you plan your trip to Silver Springs Campground in Silver Springs, Florida. Thank you so much for watching. We would love for you to subscribe. We love talking about traveling, hiking, camping, and more.
there's a baby one right here.
Wow.